Cheers! Welcome back to episode 4 of It Starts With Her. Let me take a sip real quick. Tasty. We just got back from the Liz Hernandez Wordful Masterclass. It was amazing. She talked about the importance of journaling. She talked about personal growth and just transformation and how gratitude really helps with all of that. And it's actually so crazy because now I work with Liz Hernandez. I actually produce the morning radio show on 94.7 The Wave, so go ahead and listen to it. But yeah, she's just amazing to work with every day, and she's always positive, and it's just amazing being surrounded by that uplifting
energy.
Yes.
It's someone empowering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
She definitely is empowering.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and go check her out. Wordful, Liz Hernandez. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. She's amazing. And she has positive affirmation cards, and they're just great. So
yeah.
And her journal.
Yeah, and her journal. I'm sorry. And her gratitude journal.
And her gratitude journal.
Yes. We just picked one up. We should have brought it here. But yeah, she's amazing. I love her. Go follow her.
So like kind of funny little story, but now that Lauren is working with Liz, it was probably, well, there's a back connection to it, but like, what was it, Mom? Like a year ago?
About a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have a boutique and we did an event at Calamigos Ranch. And it was a women empowerment event.
Yeah. And I was actually working there on a TV show, like on the same ranch, but just separate.
Same day, coincidentally.
Same day. It happened to be on my mom's birthday.
Yeah. And then, so there was a panel of speakers, and Liz Hernandez happened to be one. And growing up, I mean, we listened to Power, Big Boy, Liz. Mm-hmm. And of course, like we had to hear Liz and what she had to say. And she's just like an amazing person. But it's just funny how things are connected in life, and now whole year and a half later, like to even think that my sister would be working with her, it's just like funny how things work.
Yeah, and everything just comes like full circle. Like the universe, it like, the universe was gonna put me in Liz's path no matter what, because I think the universe really thought like I needed her as a mentor, because
exactly.
Like, Mom tried you've been following her forever, and she's been trying to get me to go to her events, and I was, out of state at college, and I was coming back and trying to hustle and work, and the universe clicked.
It did actually, because when we were there at the event, we all actually snuck away to listen to her talk. And I had told, I had seen the lineup of the women who were going to be there. And I told Lauren, oh gosh, Lauren, you should really make it to this event, because it'll be, really great. Liz Hernandez is going to be there. I'm sure it'll, be very motivating for you. Maybe you can make like some kind of connection. And unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it because she was working. She was working. We were listening to all these women talk. And when Liz Hernandez went up, she had actually asked the audience, is there any, after she had talked, to all the women, she asked, is anybody in here that is in like, went to school for, journalism or
media,
anything that has to be, has to do with media or radio. And there wasn't anyone. And I was thinking to myself, oh shoot, I wish Lauren would have been here, because she would have been able to make that connection. She would have, been able to answer any questions that Lauren had.
And I remember feeling damn, that could have been my shot, but
and then here we are. Exactly. She's actually working, as a producer for her morning show. So everything comes full circle. Exactly. And whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
It's not going to miss you.
Yep.
Exactly. But speaking of amazing woman, that's exactly what our topic is today. We just want to talk about supporting each other and how we went from haters to lovers, and now we're uplifting women and even supporting each other.
Yeah. Women empowerment. That's where it's at. Total women empowerment.
So Nayu, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, I think it's such an important topic to cover, because I don't know if anyone else here, but like raise your hand if you've ever been a hater before, or not hater, but like, a little jealousy.
I think we've all been in that position.
And that's what I mean is like, not that you're a hater because you're just a hater, but we tend to have these insecurities where this jealousy can come from. And not only that, but then, you know, you have these societal
norms, like
societal norms,
or standards,
where,
beauty standards too.
Yeah, and not just that, but like where we feel like women are vetted against each other. So now it's, you know, like you're not just against yourself, but then you're like in competition with other women.
Other women.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
moving, like Lauren said, you know, from being a hater to a lover and finding your security in yourself and confidence in yourself, where you're able to be your own cheerleader while authentically supporting other women.
Yep. Exactly. I know. I remember I was real bad at that. Like, it would get to a point where, like, I wouldn't even want to take photos with certain friends because I just thought, you know, they were so beautiful, but it came from me feeling so, like, bad about myself. And, like, that's a horrible feeling. Like, now looking
like you're
back,
not pretty enough,
like,
or you're not skinny enough.
Yes.
Just learning to love yourself, like where you're at.
Like, I wouldn't take photos. Like, all my friends are amazing. They're beautiful. And I wouldn't take photos sometimes just because I was like, you know, their body looks better than mine, or they have a prettier smile than mine, or, you know, someone, if I post them on my Instagram, someone's going to think they're cute instead of me. Like,
it's that constant comparison.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you're always comparing yourself.
It's tiring.
Yeah.
It's so tiring.
Yeah.
But now that I've learned to, like, or I'm actually at a place where I love myself and my body and my, you know, my personality and just everything about me, like, I love all my friends now. Like, now I want to hop in photos. Now I'm not afraid to, you know, post all my friends. And
You're
just
like, if I'm
their...
wearing makeup or not.
No,
like, you become so secure with who you are and yourself that it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, hey, let's just enjoy this moment. Let's take a picture. I mean, you know, same here. My friends could be in full on makeup. And if I'm just like, you know, just got out of the gym or whatever, I'm like, I want to take that moment because who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
I know. Do you remember, like, back then when, like, you know, everyone would take selfies and social media was newer and stuff, but, like, I took selfies all the time, like all day, 24/7. And it's like, but I think that came from, like, the need to, like, I needed to prove that I was pretty, or I needed to prove that I was out here doing this, or I needed to, it just came from a place of, like, I was posting the selfies to prove something to other people. And now I'm like, I don't know. I barely take selfies. Now it's, like, at a point where it feels weird to, like, because I'm like, I don't want to, it feels, like, too showy almost in a way.
Again, it's a place of insecurity.
Exactly.
Well, I, like, with, the rise of social media, like, we definitely kind of got, like, at, you know, the cusp of it when it was taking off. So it's hard.
Maybe that's where the competition came in too. Like, what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to not compare yourself to what you see online. And everyone knows, like, everyone is only posting the good, you know, the filters, or they're dressed up and made up that day, but they're not showing, like, the everyday them. And
exactly.
And so it's hard not to compare, like, apples to oranges when you shouldn't be, because they're different, you know?
Yeah, it's
and
way different.
You're only looking at the outer, you know, the facade.
Yeah. Like,
the exterior, you're not looking at what's actually going on behind closed doors, what's going on behind the camera, what's going on internally within them.
Yeah.
So they show up and present themselves as, you know, they got it together, you know, they're traveling, they've got this, they've got that. And in reality, it's like, okay, I have all this, and I'm putting on a show for everyone, but yet why am I feeling so empty inside? So even those girls that you think, here you are, and you're actually living a genuine, happy life, even though you're not showing it so much on camera, but then that girl or that person is showing it, and behind they're really like empty.
Damn, I'm still not happy.
Exactly. And here they are looking at you going, why can't I have that? Why can't I have that simple life where she's just, like, very secure with who she is. She shows up on social media just being herself, being vulnerable, and I wish I can do that instead of having to put on a show all the time. So,
and it's so funny because I remember that, like, I would always get that, like, compliment, like, growing up, like, oh my God, like, you know, you're so pretty, you're so confident, you're so photogenic, whatever. But I'm like, you should, like, I am not confident. The reason I take all of these and put on all this makeup is because I'm not confident. And I don't know, and not to say that, like, oh, just because you wear makeup or just because you post your fancy photos, that you can be happy. That's fine. But for me, it was definitely the opposite, where I was posting so much and it was to hide the fact that I was so sad.
I think like what we tend to post online is for other people, right? It's not for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like if it was really for ourselves, I mean, like we'd be bummy all the time. We're like showing our real lives.
Exactly.
And so I think that's where it comes in, is where you're not finding happiness because you are trying to put on a facade, and you're like, wait, what is it truly that's making me happy?
Yeah.
I'm putting on a show for others, but that's not making me happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you have to step back and reflect, and instead of worrying about like what you think others how they're gonna perceive you and your happiness, like don't even worry about them.
Exactly.
I know. In a way, like, who cares about all these social media followers? Like, as long as you surround yourself with uplifting women, and I think honestly that's why we're so blessed too, and why I feel like all been pretty blessed with like the women in our, at least me, I feel like I've been blessed with like really good friends and just people who don't feel like they have to compete with one another, you know, and that's just
it's building that circle of friends and circle of supporters, you know, whether it's, you know, 10,000 or, you know, just 10. I mean, as long as you're surrounding yourself and you're putting material out there or content out there that really is resonating with who you are.
Yeah.
So you can have the 10,000, a million followers, and it's only reaching, you know, a couple, where you can have a 500 followers, and if it's reaching all those 500, then you know that you're making a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you know you're making a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, social media has become like, oh my gosh, it's just all about numbers and views.
Well, you're addicted to like that like or like that response.
Instead of being focused on, okay, how am I showing up on social media? How am I showing up for the world? Am I making a difference in people's life?
Yep.
Yes, because I think it's so important, and I think that's where a lot of people are really focusing on, you know, like where they want to be, because I kind of see it like on social media, like the transition of, you know, I want to show
each other,
exactly, and I want to show up as myself. So if I show up as myself and I'm authentic and I'm vulnerable, then you can show up as yourself. And you don't have to hide and put on this facade.
And we tend to
all be happy.
We tend to hide behind our egos, right? And like I think it's a Eckhart Tolle book. I've told you about. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the book's name right now. But anyway, he talks about ego and you, right? And you are not your ego. And so if we just like stepped out and put the ego to the side, we can all see like we are all going through the same things in life.
Exactly.
And we're all struggling. Like our life online is not really what it is.
It's just
and
a
if we're
it's
okay
a
with that,
highlight. It's a highlight.
like
of
we
your
don't
life.
we don't know what we're doing at all times, you know.
Exactly.
And it's hard to compare yourself, especially with other girls who you see like they have their careers, things together, or even moms. Like I know I do it. Like when I see moms that are like, oh, I have my baby on this schedule, or like I'm rearranging my baby's playroom every week, and I'm like, damn, like I'm not doing all of that stuff. Like, I need to do this, you know? But I mean, obviously they're posting for a like or to have this aesthetic life, right? And as much as I would love to do that, I just find for me it's I just want to find happiness in my daily life and not post it for everyone. I don't care if anyone sees it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And again, yeah, not to go back, like for me, like I do post like a lot of TikToks and stuff, but it's just more coming from a place too where like I'm happy with what I do, and I hope other people can be inspired or learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I think what's really, really important, if you can really take a look at yourself and ask yourself this question, like, am I inspiring someone on a daily?
Exactly.
And that is what is important.
Yeah.
Like today, with so much going on in this world, it's like, how am I showing up in this world? Am I making a difference in someone else's life? So I think the most important thing with women, empowering women and supporting women, like showing up for each other and just being raw and real and authentic and vulnerable. And, you know, wherever you're struggling, you know, maybe I can help. And wherever I'm struggling, maybe you can help. And just be real about it. Because I think also a lot of women, unfortunately, have jumped on this bandwagon of women supporting women because it was just so popular.
Yeah.
And not being authentic.
And not being authentic. And
Yeah.
not really supporting the women. And secretly, you know, going behind and like
Right.
hating or talking about that person.
Exactly.
It's
And
like
that's
that.
so toxic.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
toxic.
It's like
so
that
fun.
TikTok mom and I had talked about, because I think I shared it with her, where it was trending recently. And it's like, no, sis, we're good. It's just the way, like, you don't support me. You don't support my businesses. You don't like X, Y, Z, right? And it's like, why do we still have friends who are secretly like hating, you know, like why can't we just uplift one another?
Yeah, exactly. And clap for one another. Yeah, it's like the video I sent you the other day, and I just thought, I was like cracking up because I thought it was so funny, because he was talking about like how you have these friends who and family members who are supposed to be supporting you, but yet when they see your stuff, they like it, and it's like they want to clap. But they can't.
like
I want to clap, but I can't.
Yeah. It's like, what's holding you back?
I want to clap, but I can't. And it's like, really, like, why
can't
is
you
it
just
so
be genuinely
hard
happy?
for you?
Yeah.
But
to do
again, that comes
It's a place of
back from they're not
insecurity.
happy with themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is a place of insecurity. And you know what? Those people I can't even be mad at or hurt. Yeah. I feel sorry, you
Yeah.
know.
It's
for-
hard. Well,
for
I feel like
people
we've all
who do
been
that.
there. Like we've all been at. It's hard when you're going through it to support somebody else or like want to be happy for somebody else because you're just in that bad of a place. But
Right.
that's why, like, yeah, we, like you said, we feel bad for them because we know what it's like to be there too and not just, I don't know, just feeling so insecure and so upset with our own selves that it's just hard to be happy with anything.
Exactly.
My like current favorite song, and I know her album came out last year, but I'm just like listening to her song, is Lizzo's Special. Have you guys heard it?
yeah.
I love that song. So in the song, she
Lizzo.
talks about, it's about self-esteem and then like supporting others, right? So in the beginning, it starts off with saying like, woke up this morning to somebody judging me. Don't know why they're judging me. And then she gets into like, she started living for herself and doing things that made her happy.
Yeah.
And then saying, I know what it's like to be lonely. So if nobody told you today, you're special. And I think it's beautiful because a lot of us don't hear those things and we feel like, oh wow, if someone else is winning, like I'm jealous because I'm not winning, but not seeing it as if you're winning, everyone else can win too, you know? And if we support each other.
Yeah, like I want to
So I
see
just
you
think
too.
it's,
Like,
I just
Like
think
what-
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That she made a song about, you know, supporting everyone else.
Yeah.
And it also says like, yes, you're broken, but damn, you're perfect. So no matter how broken you are, you're here, you're living, and I'm clapping for you.
Exactly. And we can all help each other, you know, to the top. It's unfortunate that I see a lot out there, you know, people start on the same level and then you've got people who rise faster than others.
Yeah.
And they forget about the supporters who have supported them down here. And I think that's so sad. It's so sad. You know, they get up here and then they start socializing with others that are
Already
up
up
here.
there.
And then they forget about the small people down here who help them get to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. You always have to,
And you
Remember
always
your
have to
friends.
exactly
Yeah.
and remember where you came from.
Yeah.
remember where you
Yes.
I mean, and it's not to say like if those friends or those family members or whatever, like if they were, secretly hating on you and you felt it, then leave them in the past because they don't they don't deserve
exactly.
to be
Well,
a part
you
of your
you don't want to
success.
bring that energy.
Yeah, you don't want to bring that energy to bring you down.
Yeah.
Because you really are like if you surround yourself with that negative energy, that will definitely you'll succumb to that, and you'll definitely become that negative person. Or if you surround yourself with those people who all you got to do when you get around each other is gossip about other people, then that's not the company you want to keep.
And that's sad because people, that's how they make a connection.
Yeah.
And if they're
that's
not
some
talking
people's
about
only connection.
Toxic
Yes.
things or talking about other people, it's like, what do you have left to talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
that
And
out.
I
And
feel
you
like
take
we
that
were-
out and
we were
it's like,
stuck
oh
in
my
that.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I
what
feel
do we
like
talk about now if we're not talking about people?
Exactly. I'm like,
Right?
I want to be around people who are going to get me inspired. I want.
Yes.
What are
Yes.
you doing in your life?
Yes.
Because I want to be on that. I just want to uplift each other.
Exactly.
And just,
And it goes back to show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
Exactly.
Yes.
for sure.
Yep.
I think we were stuck on that for a while, right? Like that gossipy, like hating. And then now it's like if I want to have a conversation and I want to leave it better than how I came into it.
Yeah,
Like if I didn't learn something, if I didn't grow, or you didn't teach me a new perspective, then what was the meaning of it? You know?
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone can relate to this, but I just remember being little and always walking in the kitchen, and I knew I was going to be all the women in my family in there gossiping about whatever family member wasn't there. You know?
Or
And
who
when
they
that
were
person
mad at.
whenever
Or what
they showed up, they're going to be
happened.
gossiping about the person who just left.
Exactly. Or they do one of these.
Yes.
Or
It's just
I've seen this a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right in front
And
of your
maybe-
face.
yeah.
It's like seriously, like come on.
Maybe that is your only conversation to have, but it's I don't know. I want to talk. I want to move forward. I want to
talk about your life. Tell me what you're doing.
Exactly. Or even if you are going through hard times,
How are you feeling?
Yeah. How can I help you? I just want to be there for you.
Yeah.
But
don't
again, it
wanna
goes
hate
back
on you
to
and bring you
the
down.
ego and pride thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't show
exactly.
that.
Exactly. And there's the some people who they almost like to hear when you're doing bad, they feed off of
They do
that.
feed
an
off of
addiction.
it. Yeah.
And it's
I mean, it feels so good, right? To
Yeah.
hate on someone or
Well, it
if
feels
they're
good in
doing
the
bad,
moment.
It makes you feel better
'Cause-
because if you're not doing anything, then you
Yeah.
don't want them to do better than you.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then when
Exactly.
if you're involved in a conversation like that and then you leave and you go home and you're kind of reflecting on that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, you don't feel good.
I
You don't feel
know.
good. You don't feel
all.
good. Yes. And I think we all kind of get caught up in that sometimes. And it's
Yeah, we
up to
definitely all been
us
there.
as women to change that.
Yeah.
Well, and then
yes, to
that's
change
why-
that,
yeah.
that perspective, that, just the toxic
or
ways
even
that some,
separate
women can
yourself
be.
from that. You
Yeah.
know, there's definitely been times where I know we've all had to cut people off. We've all had to cut friends off. I even had to cut my best friend off of multiple best friends off because of so many years, just because of that toxicness and always talking about people or always
Yeah.
feeling I just felt whenever I was happy or excited about something, they always brought my energy down.
Yeah.
Or they weren't, they're oh, but this and this and this. They always had to find something to
Yes.
nitpick it or just kind of bring me down about it. So I'm
or kind of like that
"Bye,
backhanded
sir."
compliment where they're
Yes.
like, oh, but what are you talking about? I'm for you. This is an example. If I show up at a friend's house and, she's hating on me for some reason or whatever, or she's not, my biggest cheerleader supporting
Yeah.
me with whatever I'm doing because of her own insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll look at me and she'll be like, oh, girl, yeah, you look nice. Oh, I love that lipstick, but it's not in season.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah,
It's what? Okay, you know what?
you just confused me there.
Exactly. So is your negativity or your
Yeah.
energy, but you still wear it.
Exactly.
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
But when you find out that you're at that point where, okay, I just can't be around these people anymore, you need to cut it off because
Yeah.
I think we can all say since we've cut the negativity off,
Yeah.
we're doing so much better and so much happier.
Yeah.
And you just don't have all that negativity clouding your
No.
thoughts. And
It's just
your
part
head.
of growing.
Yeah.
Being authentically supportive with other women, with, helping helping with wherever you can, whatever you can. I mean, that it's just good for the soul.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes,
That
it's really good for the soul. And I think a lot of women come from a place of insecurity because they're not happy with themselves. But I think a lot of women aren't happy with themselves because they have not found their purpose. And purpose meaning like they're like who they are.
Yeah.
Like who, like just really like how you say, Serenade, like that self-reflection of like reflecting on, you know, who am I?
Yeah.
Like, how do I want to show up as a human being or show up in this world? Getting back to purpose is like what makes us feel fulfilled and what makes us feel secure with who we are.
Yeah.
Because then you stop the comparison because you're happy within yourself.
Exactly.
Because you can show up authentically and be you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Exactly.
think one like a contributing factor to why women are insecure and they don't have confidence because when we're young, we are taught by society like what is beautiful,
Yeah.
right? What we're supposed to look like. If you're not skinny, I remember growing up and like watching Victoria's Secret fashion shows in December and like thinking like, wow, I wish I looked like them, you know, and from a young age. And I saw a few years back that at 6 years old is when girls start to develop their own self-esteem at 6 years old. And I know I did.
I
you
did
know?
too. I remember that.
And so you are seeing that your value and your outside beauty is what makes you like confident and attracted to other people.
Yeah.
Not knowing that because you're so focused on the outside, it's making your inside ugly instead of
Yeah.
focusing, like Mom said, finding your purpose. How can I support others? How can I find my true happiness on the inside and then letting that shine outside?
Yeah, exactly.
And so you grow up and then you become these like jealous,
Yeah.
insecure
And
women instead of supporting each other.
exactly. And it definitely comes from a young age. Like I remember being little too, and I don't know if you remember because I have pictures too, but there was just this big heavy jacket, and no matter if it was 80 degrees outside, 70 degrees outside, I was always wearing
it.
It was like a snow jacket pretty much. It was from like Nordstrom or I don't know, some of those things, but it was just a snow jacket I would wear no matter what weather it was. And it was because I felt so fat. But you know what? Honestly, the times that like I don't know, my insecurities, it honestly came from, because I thought I was beautiful. I always was so full of myself as a kid, even though I had those little insecurities. But like from hearing other parents, like I remember like hearing my friend's dad like say to like, you know, his wife, like, oh, she's the fat kid, or like, I remember those. And like, so just, I guess what I'm trying to get at is be careful what you say around your kids or around any kids at all, because that stays with them.
Yeah.
And it affects them. And it affected us until like literally it took me like 20 something years to like fix my insecurities and the way I felt about my own body.
Exactly.
So just be careful with what you say.
Yeah, your words and the words that you choose to use with other girls or other women, even with, you know, like the Victoria's Secret models, the really pretty girls, the thin girls, like even with them, I know that there's a lot of insecurities because it's like you only are looking at my exterior.
Yeah.
Like
But I have
you only
more to
see
offer.
how pretty I am.
Yeah.
You only see how thin I am. But I have so much more to offer. Or it could be the other way. Like you see how pretty I am and how thin I am, but I'm suffering inside. Like you think I'm living this perfect life and I look, you know, perfect on the exterior.
Yeah.
But I've got so much hurt and so much trauma and I feel so alone. But I have to hide that because I'm trying to portray this perfect image that you guys see, that you're like, oh, you know, you're so pretty. I was just reading something the other day and it said, instead of just seeing like how pretty or beautiful a woman is on the exterior, like look at her beauty within her, like inside of her, compliment her characteristics. Like, I love that you're so creative. Instead of, oh, you're so beautiful or so pretty.
Yeah.
Like those compliments are great.
Yeah.
but
But
also
find
learn to
something
compliment
other than
exactly.
physical.
Yeah,
Find something other
exactly.
than physical.
Exactly.
Yes.
That'll definitely like.
Yeah.
I know those are the compliments that stick with me.
Yeah.
Because anyone could tell you you're pretty or you have a pretty smile, but like
Oh, yeah.
when you compliment somebody's intelligence or their
Yeah.
heart or whatever is inside, like
Yes.
that is what sticks, and that's also what sticks with other people. So just remember
Yeah.
to always lead with your heart too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I always think about is like, when the day comes where my life is over, like, how do I want to be remembered? I want to, people will always remember how you made them feel.
Exactly.
And that's so important when you're around people. Like, how am I making this person feel?
Yeah.
Is she feeling seen? Is she feeling loved? Is she comparing herself to me because she feels like I've got more in whatever way than her? Like really support the woman and really be mindful of how they're feeling.
Exactly. And that just kind of
Yes.
brought a thought into my mind too. If you are in a group of women, pay attention to the one that's like, quiet or doesn't say too much, because they're probably going through something, or they probably want their voice to be heard, but they just don't have that platform, or they don't have
They don't know how.
Yeah, they don't know
Yeah.
how. Yeah, exactly.
Invite them into the conversation and make them feel comfortable.
Exactly. I know. Or like when somebody gets cut off too, I always make sure to go back to that person. Like, wait, what were you gonna say? Like, finish your thought.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the worst. Like especially as a woman, when you get talked over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it is
gosh.
frustrating.
It is so frustrating.
And I know we probably have all been on both
And
sides.
we probably do it. We do it to each other.
Yeah.
too.
But I think we're definitely more
Yeah,
mindful
but we
of
are.
it.
We are more
Or
mindful.
make sure to go back
Yes.
to like, okay, what were you saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
I know,
Just be
like,
mindful.
for me, like, I never had a hard time cheering anyone on, but like women too. Like, if, like my friend had an idea, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yeah, girl, like, go for it. Like, 100%. But for me, there was always like this hesitation of like, when it came to myself, like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I was able to be other women's cheerleaders, but not myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be your own cheerleader too, because that just helps you support even more,
Exactly.
And telling you, like, if you can look in the mirror and be like, hey girl, I got you. Like, just how you got your friend.
Exactly.
I got you.
I
You're a bad
literally-
bitch.
Yes.
Like,
I literally hype myself up every morning. Like,
Yep.
on my way to work, I'm just like, sometimes, like you said, I get that imposter syndrome, or like, oh, like, I'm not really a producer. I'm not really doing this. But it's like, yeah, girl, you a bad bitch. Like, you're on your way to
You're
the
doing
studio.
it.
Like,
Yes.
you dreamt of this life. Like, you just really gotta, like, really tell yourself, like, this is where I've always wanted to be, and this is the person I wanted to be. Or even look at the person, if you're not there, look at the person you want to be 5 years from now and start acting like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just be really supportive. Like, if you've got the friend or family member or, anyone in your life that hasn't really found what they're good at or what their passion is or what they feel comfortable with. So they'll kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this for a little bit. Oh, you know what? That wasn't for me. I'm going to try this. Really be supportive, because at least they're brave enough to put themselves out there and at least try. And the way that I see is you don't fail if you try. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never fail
Yes,
if
you
you
never
try.
fail if you try.
Because you would have never known if you
So
didn't
keep
try.
trying, no matter how many times it takes, no matter how many times you try and do, different things that you try and do. Like, just always be that person's biggest cheerleader. Like,
Yeah.
hey girl,
Exactly.
you know what? You're gonna try something else? Well, hook me up.
Yeah.
I'll help you out. Like, let me know. You want to style me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Come and style me.
exactly.
You
Support
making
your friends.
Support your friends. You're making jewelry now. Well, let me buy a piece of
Yeah.
jewelry. Oh, you're doing makeup. Well, do my makeup.
Exactly.
Yes,
Show
like
up and
show
support.
up and support and be their biggest cheerleader until they find exactly what they're good at.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think so. The key takeaway for me would be, find your true inner happiness, and you're able to authentically show up for yourself, and then help others and support other women.
Yes.
Exactly.
Instead of being so judgmental, like, oh my God, here she goes again. She's trying something different. She's trying something different. I mean, I felt like that was my entire life. I was like,
You sent me that
Mrs.
video.
trying something different, like on a daily. I know. I just sent
Mom
you that
sent me a
video.
video. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like
I bought some lashes. I was supposed to do lashes. Got certified, didn't do it.
Yeah.
Got certified for doing eyebrows, didn't do it. Bought a bunch of jewelry to start a jewelry business, didn't do it.
But you can't be hard on
No,
yourself.
you can't.
Yeah.
As long as you keep loving yourself, and hey, you can never go wrong. And that actually leads me to our positive affirmation for today to close us out. So let me go ahead. All right, so our positive affirmation to close us out. So this actually comes from Liz Hernandez herself, Wordiful. She has, like I said, a whole bunch of positive affirmation cards. Go get them, Wordiful. Okay, so the positive affirmation today is relationship. All relationships start with the one I have with myself. When I give myself love and acceptance, I attract the same energy from other people.
Oh, that's so
very true and
beautiful.
perfect.
Spread the
Yes.
love.
Exactly.
Spread love. And you guys just really support women. Be the biggest cheerleader for the woman who really needs it, because you never know what she's going through.
Exactly.
And yourself. Let's normalize
Exactly.
being cheerleaders for ourselves and for other women.
Yeah, we should always be our biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys. Thank
Another
you
good episode.
so much. Episode 4, and that's it. Make sure to
Yes.
subscribe and follow on all platforms. It Starts With Her podcast. Thank you so much, and we'll see you back next Wednesday.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Bye.